Well, hey folks, and welcome to Solar Cabin Channel. Just out for my morning walk with the dogs. It's been raining here. Started raining late last night and been raining all morning long, but it finally cleared up a little bit, but it's still kind of drizzling on us a little bit. But I decided I'd come over here. This is one of the family fields across from me here, and I used to always come through here all the time picking asparagus, wild asparagus. And so I decided I'd come out and see if I could see some wild asparagus. It's just a little bit early, but it is starting to peak up, and I've got a few pieces, but not enough yet for a meal, so I'm still looking around here. So this is what we're looking for. I'm looking for this. This is wild asparagus, and it grows all through here. It likes this soil because we have a lot of high pH alkalinity in this area, and so this grows pretty good in this area, just out here, but it'll be in patches, and you have to catch it just right because it only comes on, then it only lasts about a month, and then it goes away and you won't get it again. So I'm looking for some good asparagus spears, and I got a little bag full, but I need a lot more if I'm going to have a meal. I really love asparagus. Creamed asparagus is really good, or I like to just fry it up in a little bit of butter, saute it, maybe put some mushrooms in with it and put it on top of a steak or something like that. So this is the territory I'm looking at, and usually you find wild asparagus around the ditch banks, and then you just find a patch of them somewhere, and you can see the horses have been in here and they've been fertilizing the place, which is really good for the ground and helps grow the asparagus. So I'm wandering on through here and I'm hunting asparagus, so come on along with me and I'll see what I can find. So this is wild asparagus here. Get out of the way, dog. And get out of the way so maybe you can see it. Get in the sunshine there. So this is wild asparagus here. You can see just one spear kind of poking up in there. So you have to have really good eyes when you're hunting asparagus, because unless it's in a clump, a little bit later on they'll be in clumps around bushes, and then you can find them a little easier. This time of year, you got to really look because they'll be hid. It's kind of like hunting mushrooms too. You got to kind of look and know where they would be hanging out and have a pretty sharp eye. So I'm just going to pick that little baby off. And this is the best time I like to get them, is this time of year, because this time of year the tops are really going to be sweet. They haven't been growing very long. In fact, they can grow this size in a day. Asparagus, when it decides to pop up out of the soil, it'll just put on a tremendous amount of growth all right away. And if you catch it when it's young like this, really flavorful, delicious flavor on asparagus. So that's what I'm looking for, and I just happened to spot this one here, so we're going to keep looking. So this is a little patch of asparagus like I was talking about. And you can see these old dead shoots here. That's an old asparagus plant, or what they call an asparagus fern, that was allowed to go to head. And then it drops the seeds down here, and then you can see you get little clumps of asparagus like this. And this is a real nice find here when you can find it like this. Now we always leave one or two. You never want to take all of them. You want to leave one or two so they'll go to head. And that way they'll seed the ground. That way next year when I come over, there'll be some more asparagus here. You never want to take too much, but I'm going to take about half of this, and then I'll leave a few stalks here for next year. And then if you know where the asparagus is at, it'll almost always come back pretty close to the same area, so you can kind of build up a bed of wild asparagus if you know where it is, and you can keep the neighbors from coming over and taking it too. So I'm going to take these. These are lovely looking little asparagus heads here. Well, I managed to get me a pretty good little bag of asparagus there. I'm still hunting here, but that's enough for one person. That's a pretty good take for this time of year. Now, when I was a kid, I used to go all over here, teenager. I used to go all over here, and I'd usually carry my gun with me. And in an afternoon, I'd usually pick up a couple of rabbits or maybe a pheasant and a bag of asparagus and take that home, and Mom would cook that up for dinner. So this is always kind of how we Cedar Billies kind of supported ourselves, as we kind of knew where things were around the land, and knew what time of year what grew wild. You can grow asparagus on your own property, but I don't happen to like the commercial varieties of asparagus. They just don't seem to have the same flavor. A little bit more acidic, a little bit more, I don't know. They just don't taste as good to me as the wild asparagus that grows in this area. But boy, I sure wish right now my mouth is watering for a rabbit or a pheasant to come popping up out of here. But probably not going to see one. With all the farming and everything going on in here and the drought that we had, a lot of those little animals have went other places to live, unfortunately. They used to be all over here. You used to be able to see rabbits. I'd walk through these sagebrush and I'd kick up a rabbit every few feet. a pheasant too, but haven't seen them in a few years in this area. Things have kind of changed. Anyway, got out here with the dogs, gathered up some nice asparagus for a meal. I'll go back and saute that up with some mushrooms and throw a steak on the barbie to go with them. And that'll be lunch. So hope you enjoyed this little trip with me. Seeing some wild asparagus picking, and we'll talk at you later. Everybody have a great day.